Look, it's a concepts collaboration, so you know it's not going to be far off the mark. It's a dunk. Any dunks in this year, 2020, are absolutely fire. And it's a crazy take on a holiday season event that is just... It's ridiculous what they've done with this shoe. There's so much going on with this shoe. It's hard to know where to start and it's hard to know where to finish, but it is easy to know that one place on this shoe that is going to have dunk heads and duck heads really scrambling to get a hold of these guys. Usually for me, the dunk highs don't really push far and hard in the same way that the dunk lows do, but I think this one right here is going to be an absolute monster shoe, and I think there's one particular detail on it that people out there are just going to be... This is unique. I'm never going to see this again. I have to get my hands on these shoes. So without further ado, let's just get into it and talk about this concepts collaboration with the Nike SB Dunk High TurDUNKen. This is a Tokyo About It 23 sneaker channel. Tokyo About It 23 sneaker channel des.毎日 Absolutely day. 毎日 見てください. Every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, sneaker reviews. And today, what's in the spotlight is a collaboration that I love and a thing that I know nothing about. So collaboration that I love is concepts because it goes back to the Kyrie line. And I think I'm right in saying the Kyrie Iket, which was one of the first shoes I did for this channel, and one of my favorite shoes of all time, was a tie-up with the Concepts brand. And then to celebrate Concepts moving into, I think it's Boston, and opening a new store there, they've come out with this Dunk High, and it's about so that's what I know. I know the Concepts collaborations, I know the brand, and I know their tie-up to shoes. What I don't know is TurDUNKen. TurDUNKen. This is a North American thing, and it might even be an American thing. I've never even heard of it, and it might be to do with Thanksgiving, which is not something that many other countries celebrate around the world. Turkey, to me, is a Christmas thing and nothing else, but in America I know turkey is about Thanksgiving, and that's usually in November, and this shoe's coming out just in time for that. But TurDUNKen is like a 3-bird meal, 3-bird dish, where it's turkey, duck and chicken, so TurDUNKen, and then the play on words in this shoe is TurDUNKen because it's a dunk high. Now I have to call out, I'll call out one and thank the other. We'll thank Kicks on Fire first for this right here, where you can see their headline for this shoe says TurDUNKen, and then we'll sort of say to Sneakers News, what you doing there? Because you'll see here that they're calling it the TurDUNKen, because it is TurDUNKen is the name of the dish, but the play on dunk and duck is what the shoe's going after. And it was Sneaker News that call it the TurDUNKen, whereas everybody else is calling it the TurDUNKen. So, as far as I know, I mean, I don't work for Nike, and I don't not work for these shoe companies or these sneaker these sneaker websites or anything like that. So I'm pretty sure it's the TurDUNKen play on words. That's the actual name of the shoe. But if Sneaker News are the only one who have got it right, and it is actually the TurDUNKen, then apologies for that. But I'm pretty sure they've got it wrong in that one. But yeah, so it's a North American thing, something I'm not really familiar with. I don't know much about the sort of culture and heritage and the history of that dish and how you'll cram that into this shoe. But what I do know is I do know my sneakers, and I do know that dunks are hot this year, and I do know the Concept brand is a big brand. So all of that coming together in this shoe is a very big yes. Now for me, it's what the Japanese call giri. If you want to know some Japanese words, giri means like it's close, it's like on the borderline. Is it going to make it? Is it, and for me this is giri safe, as in yes, they made it, it's a nice shoe, it's going to go far and it's going to go hard. And what I'm talking about is that I personally do not like furry shoes. I don't like it when the shoes have a bunch of sort of weird texture and fabrics going on the top of them, especially when it's splashed all over the place with different textures in different parts of the shoe. But this shoe just about carries it off, and it just stays on the right side because it's really one panel that is a bit excessive, but because it's just one panel, it doesn't overload the rest of the shoe. So like I say, for me, I've always talked about it at the channel. There was something very early on, an Air Jordan 6, and I always forget the name of it. It was a skateboard shop tied up with an Air Jordan 6. It was furry. There was Amelia May, a female basketball player, did an Air Jordan 4 that was furry. Even the Ben & Jerry Dunk Lows, I know a lot of people love those, just not my thing. So, but these guys, they just just make it in on the safe side for me, and it's an absolutely monster shoe. And I did say at the start of this video that there's one thing in there that I think is going to like take it above all the rest. Now we'll get into all the rest after I've talked about that one thing. I know most people would hold that one thing to the end just to keep you guys watching for as long as possible, but I just don't like to do that. So I'm going to get into that one main thing, and then we'll get into the rest of the shoe. And that one main thing is the tongues, and hopefully I've zoomed in on it nice and clear here, and you can see why this is going to be huge. And it's because they played around with the branding in a tiny little way, but it's absolutely unique. Now what it says on the tongue right there is SB with a swoosh, Nike with a swoosh and then SB, and what it should say is Dunk High Pro, but what it actually says is Duck High Pro, and it's that tiny little detail that maybe not everybody catches, that people are just going to go crazy for. That a Dunk sneaker that should say Dunk on it actually says Duck to go with the collaboration, and the storyline of the shoe is going to be huge. And I think these guys are going to be all over the place, and people are going to be scrambling hard and fast to get them. And it's not just about that tongue branding, it's about the whole shoe. So let's go ahead and take a look at the whole shoe and talk about those details and give you an idea why this one's going to be hot. We'll start at the toe box, which is just how I like my toe boxes. A bit of leather up there on the panel, and then on the overlay a little bit of suede. Very cool. I don't mind those two materials contrasting each other at all. The panel itself in a sort of tan, and then the suede and a darker brown material. Now this is a very earthy shoe. It's supposed to represent a mallard duck, which is that standard kind of duck with the green head, and the whole hunting season, and duck, the dish, to cook duck, so the earth tones make sense on the shoe. And then if you travel back from that, you get to two of my favorite points on the shoe, and one, like I said, is that mid-foot panel that is a little bit more textured than the rest of the shoe, and it's a really interesting kind of material they've used on there. I've got no idea what it is, but they've got these sort of they're almost like on Velcro, how you have like the smooth bit on Velcro and the hooks on the other part, and that's what sort of sticks it together, because the hooks kind of hook themselves into the smooth bit. It's like the hooks on the hooky part of Velcro that just coming out there, and it's very, very cool. But right on top of it is a watery looking swoosh, and that swoosh kind of reminds you of the lakes or rivers or wherever it is that you'd find ducks living. And but it's not just a blue watery swoosh, because this angle right here really gives you an idea just how iridescent that swoosh is, and the play on colors depending on how the light strikes it. So it's really, really cool what's going on there. And then we go up from that, we have a look at the tongues. I already talked about one side of the tongues, which are cool, but the flip side of them are also cool, and you should be able to see here the Concepts branding on the back end of the tongues, which is usually a bit more prominent than this. It's just, the Concept guys are making this collaboration. You'd expect to see their branding somewhere a bit more prominent than on the inside, but because they've gone with that duck motif, the Duck High Pro on the front side of the tongue, is kind of understandable that their own branding goes on the back side of the tongue. But it's cool, it's a nice hidden feature, it's very cool that it's in there, and it also gives us a hint to look at the lining on these guys, and you can kind of see the lining on there, and you're like, what's going on there? Here's a better picture to tell you exactly what's going on there, and there are two things that you really need to draw your eyes to. One is the Concept branding, so hopefully it's positioned properly on the green screen that you can see the word Concepts on the lining, and the other is that mallard duck. It's almost like wallpaper, white wallpaper with black hand-drawn details on it, and the duck and the Concept branding is the main feature of that, and the main thing that pops out. And it's nice as well to me that it's so kind of subtle and drawn back and played low on the lining of the shoe, whereas everything else is very big and loud. So it's a very, very big yes for me. And not only that, and this is that tie up to the American holiday season and Thanksgiving, is because it comes with a bunch of extras that hopefully you're able to see here, including a Nerf, and I can just imagine that for the holiday season, this shoe coming up, I think I'm right in saying that it drops on November the 21st, which wouldn't surprise me, is Thanksgiving weekend or even Thanksgiving Day. Again, not North American, so apologies if I've got that wrong. But the whole sort of family getting together, the Nerf, and people playing sports together and getting together for a family meal, and this shoe really ties that all together. I just think it's going to be a huge huge shoe. I think a lot of people are going to go after it, and the extras that go with it, and the extra hits of design and the collaboration, and then that bit up on the tongue. I think all of it ties together to be a huge shoe, leading us into the winter season where we'll have huge shoe after huge shoe. So hopefully, guys, you enjoyed that take and look at the shoe. Maybe it's helped you sort of see some details on there that you weren't aware about, and you're going to say, right, you know what, because of this I'm going to go get a hold of these shoes, and I think you'll be getting yourself a very, very cool shoe, a very unique one that will last a while. It's not flash in the pan, this one. So go grab it if that's your thing. Okay, it's time for me to sign off. This is my third video that I'm shooting on Saturday, and I think I'm right in saying it's Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday's videos. So this will be Wednesday's video, and that means that at least the voting in the US election is finished, but given all the mail-in ballots and stuff like that, I don't know if the actual winner has been called yet, but yeah, the US elections, the voting's finished, but I'm shooting this video on the Saturday, like days before that, so I don't know how it all turned out. Fingers crossed, for whatever reason. Let's just hope that it was a decent, honourable day and not just a mudslinging match. Fingers crossed. Okay, time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content. Truly do appreciate it. But you know what? I do this every single day, so at the end of every single video I get to say that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.